Natasha's sculpture was 5 3/16 inches tall. Maya's was 4 times as tall. How much shorter was Natasha's sculpture than Maya's? All right, so my first thing I need to do is ask myself, what do I know about the problem? Well, I know that Natasha had a sculpture that was 5 3/16 inches tall. I also know that Maya's was 4 times as tall. That keyword 4 times as means to multiply by 4 right now. So the next thing I'm going to do is draw a picture about what I already know. So once again, I'm going to draw a tape diagram representing Natasha's sculpture. We'll put an N right there. And this chunk is going to represent 5, and this chunk is going to represent 3/16. Then I'm going to draw what I know about Maya's sculpture. I know that it was 4 times as tall, so I'm going to have to do this a couple of times. 1, that's 5 3/16. 2, 3, 4. We're going to pretend that these were all evenly spaced out. 5 3/16, 5 3/16, and 5 3/16. Now I'm going to ask myself, what do I need to find out? Well, I need to find out how much shorter Natasha's sculpture was than Maya's. And there are a couple of things I need to do, because if I just look at this, I don't know off the top of my head how tall Maya's sculpture is. So before I can answer the actual question in the problem, I need to figure out how tall Maya's sculpture actually is. So I'm going to do that by taking 5 3/16 and multiplying that by 4, going back to our 4 times as tall, or 4 times as many. I'm going to break this up. 4 times 5 plus, let's make that look better, plus 3/16. I know I can do 4 times 5 and then 4 times 3/16. 4 times 5, 4 times 3/16. 4 times 5 is 5, 10, 15, 20. 4 times 3/16, I do 4 times 3, 4, 8, 12. That is equal to 12/16. So I'm looking at this now and I see, oh, 12/16 is not a fraction that's greater than 1. It's not an improper fraction. So I can just come and do 20 plus 12/16. Well, that gives me 20 and 12/16. And I'm working with inches. Now, here's the thing. This right here does not answer my question. Because my question is not how tall is Maya's sculpture. My question is, how much shorter was Natasha's sculpture than Maya's? So what I'm going to need to do now is I'm going to need to take Maya's, the height of Maya's sculpture. I'm going to do it in Maya's color. 20 and 12/16. And now that I know what it is, I'm going to subtract how tall Natasha's sculpture was. 5 3/16. It's been a little while, a couple days since we've done subtracting fractions, but you can do this. So we start off subtracting our whole numbers. We can do 20 minus 5, and that gives us 15. If you need to actually write this off, like to the side here, if you're looking at that and you know, oh, I can't subtract 0 from 5, and you know you need to ungroup here and make it 15 like that, you can go ahead and do that. Then I know that I can also subtract 12/16 minus 3/16. Now, because 12/16 is greater than 3/16, I can just subtract that like normal. So I'm just going to do 12 minus 3. And I'm going to count backwards in my head right now. So I know that I've got 12 and I need to go down 3. 11, 10, 9. All right. So I know that the actual answer here is going to be 15 9/16 inches. So I could write Natasha's sculpture. Oh, let's spell sculpture right. Good job. Miss Sanchez's sculpture is 15 9/16 inches smaller than Maya's.